So, you want to join the Indian Merchant Navy. It's an incredible career, but figuring out how to get started can be really tough. That's what we're doing today, charting a clear course through all the official rules. No nonsense, just a straight-up guide based on what the government circulars actually say. Let's get right into it. You've got the dream, right? A life out on the open ocean. But then you start looking into it, and suddenly you're drowning in regulations, amendments, and circulars. It's confusing, and things are always changing. Don't worry. We're here to give you a clear map through all of it. Look, everything we're about to talk about comes directly from the source, the official circulars from the Directorate General of Shipping. We've gone through the main rulebook, which is this one right here, Training Circular 12 of 2020, and we've folded in all the latest updates and changes. So what you're getting is the most current, accurate info out there. No rumors, no guesswork, just the facts. Okay, here's our game plan. We'll start with the golden rules that apply to literally everyone. Then we'll look at the different departments you can join. After that, we'll dive deep into the specific paths for deck, engine, and catering. Then we'll cover how you actually get into a college. And finally, we'll wrap up with your next steps. Ready? Before you even start thinking about what course you want to do, there are some, golden rules. These are the absolute non-negotiable requirements that every single person has to meet. Think of them as the first gate you have to pass through. All right, let's break these down. First up, you have to be medically fit. That includes your eyesight, your hearing, the whole 9 yards, all according to the official merchant shipping rules. Second, any course you take has to be a full-time, in-person thing. No distance learning or part-time courses allowed. And finally, and this is super important, your age is always counted from the day your course starts, not the day you apply. Now, while those age limits are pretty strict, the good news is there's some flexibility built into the system. The rules offer some really important age relaxations for certain categories of candidates. Let's see how that works. So if you're a candidate from a scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, you get a full 5-year relaxation on the maximum age limit for any course. That is a pretty significant extension, and it opens up a lot of opportunities. For candidates who belong to the other backward classes, specifically the non-creamy layer, the rules give you a 3-year relaxation on that upper age limit. So again, another important provision to be aware of. And this is just fantastic. To encourage more women to join the field, every single female candidate gets an additional 2-year age relaxation. So let's say you're a female candidate from the SC category. You get the 5 years for your category, plus 2 more years, for a total of 7 years of age relaxation. That's a huge deal. Okay, so once you've cleared those universal rules, it's time to think about where you fit in. On a ship, things are basically split into 3 main departments. You've got the deck department. They handle navigation and cargo. Then there's the engine department, which is all about keeping the ship running. And finally, the catering department, which takes care of everyone on board. All right, now we're getting into the real heart of it. We're going to break down the specific eligibility criteria for the main entry-level courses in each of those departments. So you'll want to pay close attention here to see exactly which path matches your qualifications. A really common way to start is with the GP rating course. This trains you to become a rating, who are the skilled crew members that are basically the backbone of both the deck and engine teams. For this, you need to have passed your 10th standard with at least 40% overall in science and math, and, this is key, 40% in English. The age for this is between 17.5 and 25. If working in the galley and managing provisions sounds more like your thing, then the CCMC is the course for you. The requirements here are really straightforward. A pass in 10th standard with a 40% aggregate, and just like the GP rating, you need at least 40% in English. The age limit is exactly the same, 17.5 to 25 years old. Okay, now for the engine side, specifically for people with diplomas. And this is a perfect example of why it's so important to keep up with the latest circulars, because a recent change has opened the door for a lot more people. And here it is. For the Diploma in Marine Engineering, or DME course, the maximum age limit was bumped up all the way to 28 years old. This was part of DGS Circular 17 of 2021. The academic requirement is a diploma in a relevant engineering field with 50% in your final year and at least 50% in English in either 10th or 12th. Seriously, this is a game changer for so many people. It's a similar story for graduates looking to do the 1-year GME course. The age limit here has also been updated to 28 years. But what's really interesting is something that was clarified in a later circular. The rules now explicitly say that if you have a BE or BTech in marine engineering, even from a college that isn't DGS approved, you are still eligible, right alongside the standard mechanical engineering grads. So you've checked all the boxes, you've found the course for you, you know you're eligible. That's awesome. But how do you actually get a spot in a training college? That is the next and very crucial part of your journey. Let's dig into the admissions process. The main gateway to get into most of these courses is the IMU-CET. It's the common entrance test held by the Indian Maritime University. The whole point of it is to create a single, fair, and transparent system for admissions based on merit. For anyone who wants to become an officer, this exam is your #1 target. But here comes another massive update, and this one is huge for students. The government realized that a lot of qualified candidates weren't clearing the CET, and at the same time, a lot of seats in colleges were going empty, so they've introduced a brand new, way more flexible system for admissions. And this is hot off the press from a very recent circular. Admissions will now work in 2 steps. Step 1 is the normal way, through the IMU-CET merit list. But here's the second chance. If after that whole process there are still empty seats, colleges are now allowed to fill them by directly admitting students who meet all the eligibility criteria, even if they didn't clear the IMU-CET. This is a massive opportunity for a lot of people. Wow, we have covered a ton of ground, haven't we? From the basic rules for everyone, to the specific courses, all the way to the latest admission policies. So let's bring it all home and figure out your next port of call. So let's quickly recap the absolute must-knows. First, always start by making sure you meet the universal medical and age rules, including those relaxations. Next, pick the department that actually fits your background. And remember that huge update? The age limit is now 28 for those key engineering courses. Your main goal should be the IMU-CET, but don't forget that new alternative pathway is now there as a backup plan. We've laid out the official map for you based on the very latest government rules. The path to a career at sea is probably clearer now than it's ever been. So there's really only one question left, and you're the only one who can answer it. The sea is calling. Are you ready to take the helm and navigate your future?